I expected more from your people, but I guess the ghetto follows you wherever you go. This is a respectable community, not your personal plantation. So, let me set the scene for you because that's how it started. That's the line she threw across my own front lawn like a grenade. And you know what? It landed. The grass was green, sun pouring down. My wife, my anchor, was kneeling by the walkway with a trowel in her hand, dirt on her jeans, sweat on her brow, and a smile that could hold up the whole world. She'd spent weeks on that pollinator garden cone flowers, black-eyed Susans, milkweed for the monarchs. Her little piece of joy after grinding days at the accounting firm, her medicine against the beige sameness of this neighborhood. And right then, it was all threatened by a woman in a Pepto-pink pantsuit, standing on her side of the property line, looking like a furious flamingo that's just had her feathers ruffled the wrong way. The pink menace, that's what I called her, though never to her face, not at first. President of the HOA, self-appointed queen of taupe and beige, waging her little war for conformity one microaggression at a time. If you know quiet comments about too loud music that's not even playing, notes about improper parking when we're well inside the lines, and always the feeling that your presence, your joy, your very being is too much. But the garden, that was the straw. Too bright, too wild, too black, though she never actually said the word. She just let it hang there, thick and ugly. That morning she came stomping across her perfectly manicured, chemical-soaked lawn, launching that opening salvo right at my wife's back. My wife, she didn't flinch, not even a little. She stood up slowly, brushed dirt off her hands, met that woman's eye, and said, dead calm, "Is there something I can help you with?" I'll never forget the way the pink menace sputtered, like her wires had just crossed. This mess is against HOA regulations. It's unkempt. It lowers property values. People like us move here to get away from there. She didn't have to finish that sentence. We all knew what she meant. I stepped out onto the porch, ready to say my piece, but my wife gave me a look, just a small shake of her head. I got this. And oh, she did. We had no idea that a patch of flowers would spark a war that would blow up bigger than anything I could have dreamed. A war that'd end with a slap echoing around a courthouse and a neighborhood tyrant's life going up in flames. At the time, we just wanted to be left alone. First came the violations. Crisp white envelopes with the HOA's logo, slipped under our door. Failure to maintain lawn to community standards, $100. We paid it, hoping that'd be the end. It wasn't. 2 days later, another letter, another fine, unapproved landscaping modification, came with a grainy photo snapped from across the street like some low-budget surveillance op. Every few days, a new charge: excessive variety of flora, introduction of non-native insect species. Read, bees. It was so ridiculous my wife started laughing. $500 in fines in 2 weeks, and all we'd done was grow flowers. So, we went to the next HOA meeting. Picture a sad little clubhouse, stale coffee smell, everyone trying too hard to look busy. For bored couples, the pink menace and her board, a bunch of gray-haired yes-men, and her husband, the HOA treasurer, pale and haunted. We laid out our case. My wife had the bylaws highlighted, a letter from a landscape architect, even county records. Didn't matter. The pink menace just smirked and said, "If you don't like the rules, maybe you're not the right fit for this community." The other board members mumbled along. That was the moment it got real. It wasn't about money or flowers anymore. She wanted us gone. Thing is, she picked the wrong woman to mess with. My wife is a forensic accountant. She hunts discrepancies in corporate accounts for a living. When she turned that skill on the HOA, the war kicked up to a new level. We started contesting every violation, sending certified letters, quoting bylaws. But by night, our dining table became a war room. Stacks of HOA records, years of meeting minutes, bank statements, all spread out as my wife dug in. She spotted it fast: a landscaping budget that jumped 30% in 1 quarter. But the vendor contracts never changed. Weird payouts to P.O. boxes, vendors that didn't exist. It was all unraveling. Meanwhile, the pink menace stepped up her game. She'd stand in her yard for hours, glaring. She'd follow my wife to her car in the morning, dropping snide comments. "Some of us have to work harder to stay here." Creepy, exhausting. We put up cameras, but the stress was always there, simmering. I begged my wife, "Let's move. It's not worth it." She just shook her head. "You don't let bullies run you out. Not when you've done nothing wrong." And then she found a thread that unraveled everything. Not just one off-the-books payment, but a whole shell company. Checks signed by the Pink Menace and her husband, year after year, money siphoned out of HOA funds. This was fraud, plain and simple. Time to go nuclear. We hired a lawyer, a guy who'd seen it all. When he looked through my wife's evidence, he just shook his head, whistled low. "This isn't pettiness. This is organized crime." So we filed suit, not just for harassment, but for breach of fiduciary duty, asking for a full independent audit. The Pink Menace lost her mind. She screamed on our property line for half an hour, all caught on our cameras, accused us of trying to destroy the neighborhood, told everyone we were bankrupting them with our frivolous lawsuit. A few neighbors believed her, gave us cold shoulders, dirty looks. But our lawyer had warned us. "She'll play the victim. She'll try to isolate you. Let the process work." My wife kept digging. She started looking into the Pink Menace's past public records, business filings, old news. Turns out her origin story was all a lie. Not old money, but a bookkeeper for a family business that went bust under mysterious circumstances decades back. The owner's daughter confirmed it remembered the young woman who'd disappeared with the family's savings. Never charged, but never forgotten. My wife kept all the proof, filed it as insurance policy, ready for the right moment. Then discovery hit. The Pink Menace flooded us with boxes of redacted receipts, missing meeting minutes, delay tactics galore. But my wife, she cross-referenced check numbers, pieced together the shell game. They're only redacting invoice numbers on payments to Creative Landscaping Solutions. She told me one night, eyes sharp. That's the shell. They're getting sloppy. Meanwhile, the harassment peaked, nails under our tires, vandalized mailbox. The fines got even pettier, improper garbage can placement, incorrect window glare. We documented it all. Our lawyer said, "Just keep building your case." I won't lie, it wore me down. I lost sleep, jumped at every noise. My wife just set her jaw and kept going. One night, sitting on our porch, she looked at her garden, still thriving, and said, "They want us tired, scared, so we just give up. That's why we can't." I knew then we were in the fight for more than our house. We were fighting for our dignity. Finally, the day came. The courtroom was small, bland, smelled like dust and Lysol. We sat with our lawyer. The Pink Menace across from us in a new, louder pink suit. Her husband a shadow. Their lawyer all slick smiles. She spun her tale, how she was just enforcing rules, how we were troublemakers. I could feel the bias in the air. The judge, old white guy, looking at us like we were just stirring up trouble. But then came cross-examination. Our lawyer was patient, gentle even. He slides her a copy of a $5,000 invoice for emergency tree removal, dead of winter. No storm. "Can you explain this?" She stammered. "We have to pay contractors in unconventional ways sometimes." He pressed, "Ma'am, this company isn't registered anywhere, and the address is a mailbox registered to you. Why is HOA money going there?" Silence. For the first time, cracks appeared. Judge's interest was piqued. The mask slipped. The room shifted. We could all feel it. Then my wife took the stand, steady, calm, methodical. She laid out the harassment, the financial games, the fake companies. She explained how the Pink Menace targeted us not because of flowers, but because we were a successful, happy black family, and that was a threat. The Pink Menace's lawyer jumped up, objecting, but it was too late. The rage was already boiling over. The Pink Menace stood up, tore away from her own lawyer, and screamed, "You lying, conniving bitch! Get your black ass out of here!" She lunged, her hand swinging, and slapped my wife hard across the face in front of the whole court. Time froze. The slap echoed. The judge's gavel hit the desk. Bailiffs rushed in. The Pink Menace still shrieking. My wife stood there, cheeks stinging, but unbroken, her dignity shining through. The judge was livid, called her a disgrace, held her in contempt, ordered an audit, granted our injunction, dropped every fine. The Pink Menace was dragged away, her world collapsing in real time. Her husband just sat there, a shell, as the lawyer packed up in defeat. We walked out into the sunlight. Everything changed. The garden at home was blooming, butterflies and bees everywhere like nothing had ever happened. But it wasn't over. The audit unleashed a storm. The fraud was even deeper. Multiple shell companies, over 500,000 siphoned away over years. Designer clothes, new cars, luxury vacations all stolen from neighbors who'd trusted her. The DA came knocking, felony charges of fraud and embezzlement. And here's the twist: her own husband flipped. Threw her under the bus, handed over ledgers, passwords, every dirty secret. He struggled against her in court, painted himself the victim of her bullying. And my wife's insurance policy? It let the DA show a paternal life built on lies and theft, stretching back decades. The criminal trial was a spectacle. Her old bravado gone, sitting in a gray suit, pale and beaten. Video of her racist tirade, the slap, all played for the jury. My wife, calm as ever, just told the truth. The jury took less than an hour. Guilty on all counts. The judge threw the book at her 5 to 7 years for fraud, plus another for assault. She broke down, sobbing, as bailiffs took her away. Her house was sold, cars gone, everything to pay refund. The old board voted out, the rules that started the war erased. The best part? The garden that was once a violation became the pride of the neighborhood. My wife was given an award by the new board, her name engraved for courage. Kids run through sprinklers, neighbors wave and stop to chat. No more threats in the mail, no more fear. The real victory wasn't in a courtroom, it was in the quiet mornings. Coffee on the porch, the peace we fought so hard to win. My wife, she's lighter now, smiling for real, no shadows under her eyes. She didn't just beat the pink menace, she changed this place for good. Funny thing, the case became a local legend. The DA uses it to train others, show to root out corruption in community groups. People reach out wanting to know how my wife did it. She helps them, shares what to look for, always says the same thing. Never let a bully scare you off your own land. The story wasn't just ours anymore. It belongs to anyone fighting their own private tyrant. As for the others, the pink menace's husband, ghost of a man, working retail to pay off restitution. The lawyer, his reputation shot. The daughter of the ruined family wrote my wife a thank you letter, just a simple line. You brought peace to my parents. My wife cried when she read it. That was when she knew the fight was worth it, not just for us, but for them, for everyone who'd ever been trampled by someone drunk on power. So here we are, a couple years later, watching kids run in the yard. The garden wild and beautiful. A monument to what my wife built out of nothing but grit, brains, and stubborn hope. The scar on her cheek is gone, but the story stays. A reminder of how close we came to losing our peace, and how hard we had to fight to reclaim it. And sometimes, when I think about the pink menace in her prison jumpsuit, all that power and stripped hate away, I don't feel anything at all. She's a footnote. The real story is the woman beside me, sipping coffee, watching land butterflies on the flowers she planted out of love and defiance. She took every ugly thing thrown at her and turned it into something beautiful, just like she always does. So, tell me, what would you have done? Where do you stand on what's right, what's fair, when a community gets torn apart by greed and hate? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your own stories, because this kind of fight, it's not just ours. It's happening everywhere. And maybe, just maybe, the next person who stands up wins a little peace for all of us.